Introducing Instagram Teen Accounts, a new way to keep your teens safer as they grow, like making sure they've got the right gear for riding.
Knee pads.
Check.
And helmet?
Done. See you, Dad.
New Instagram Teen Accounts, automatic protections for who can contact your teen and the content they can see.
You work hard. Now play harder with the all-new Nissan Armada. It's big, spacious, and powerful. It features a twin-turbo V6 engine that delivers serious strength. Inside, there's room for up to 8 passengers. Perfect for bringing the whole family along. With an impressive new engine, incredible towing capacity, and adventure-ready technology, this is the first Armada to earn the Pro 4X badge. Whether you're tackling tough roads or exploring new horizons, the all-new Nissan Armada is built to keep up with your adventures.
This is VSiN By The Books on VSiN, the sports betting network.
It is a good Tuesday morning here on VSiN By The Books. Dave Ross here, downtown Las Vegas at Circus Sports. Our closer, Jensen Lewis, back home in Cleveland, Ohio. My friend, we are rocking and rolling in the NBA and the NHL playoffs. Still, I'm walking in this morning to Circa here, Jensen, and I still get, this is bizarre. You say hi to people as you're walking in. And one of the guards, first thing he says to me, hey, what'd you think about Sanders going in the 5th round? And I literally just stop, and we have like a minute and a half conversation about Shedeur Sanders. It is amazing, like just people you meet that they know you're into sports and whatever. It still is a topic of conversation. What's it like in Cleveland here a couple of days later? Is it going to slow down, or is it still like, my goodness, what just happened over the weekend?
Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey, setting up shop, man. It is going to be. I told you I was here for the Johnny Manziel era, and got to know him and hang out a couple of times. And the problem with Cleveland is it's such a fishbowl, man. It is such a smaller place that you're not really able to go anywhere when you're at that kind of exposure that not only Johnny was, but now Shedeur will, and then it's the whole entourage that comes through. So bottom line, it's about winning football games, and I think that from kind of parlaying off yesterday's show, or talking about one of those markets of who's going to take the first snap, and Flacco was 12-1 down to 3-1. I think the consensus here, at least in the first couple of days, Dave, is that Kevin Stefanski is going to make it a quarterback competition, which is fine. Yeah. But I think there's a hierarchy for sure already of there's a pretty steep mountain to climb for any of these young cats to try and run down Joe Flacco.
And it's so funny when you get caught off guard like that, when you're not expecting to have a conversation. Like I'm expecting to have a conversation with you for the next 3 hours every day. Yes. As you kind of like, you recoil, you're like what? Like it catches you off guard. And then I had to think about it. And I'm like, well, that's a good question. I don't know what's going to happen with Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round. I have no idea. Is he going to be the QB1? Is it going to work out there? Is he going to move on to some other place? But yeah, it's still a fascinating kind of walk down what they did this weekend. What's going to happen with Dylan Gabriel? What do you do with the 2 veteran quarterbacks? There's so much to get to, and we will get to a lot of that as the show goes as well today. Got to Matt Youmans. Love catching up with Matt as we do each and every Tuesday. Of course, Jonathan Von Tobel is going to join us as well. You got to check out he and Stormy's new show here on the network. Money Moves, checked out a little bit of it yesterday. It's fantastic, as to be expected. Billy Body's going to join us. Love catching up with Billy, talking some Champions League preview here on a Tuesday. And again, that backup plan for Shedeur, not exactly sure what that might be. And also Jeff Schwartz, who joined me yesterday in the GM Shuffle, will get some memories from his draft day. Might be a little bit different than Shedeur's. And also maybe some, I think you might get maybe some laughter might ensue here, Jensen, when you hear about his draft day, and I can't wait juxtaposing it with yours. Let's get to, without further ado here on a Tuesday, our highlights and headlines.
Help your bottom line with today's highlights and headlines.
You hate to see injuries for anybody. You really hate them when you get older. Because, it's just tougher and tougher to come back. Damian Lillard, the worst was expected. It was feared, and it is realized. It's a torn Achilles for Dollar Dame. So, obviously, his season is long over. And now, next season is already in jeopardy here for Dame Lillard. And we talked about it just very quickly because we didn't know the extent of it. We knew it was going to be bad yesterday. But now that we know, and we had kind of mentioned, look, it didn't feel like when the trade happened, you get why it happened, and it feels like on paper this is going to be dynamic with Dame and Giannis, and it never really has taken flight. And then when you see this, Jensen, first of all, I just hope Dame's healthy, and if he wants to come back, he comes back. But this could be one of those full-year injuries. And again, Father Time stops for nobody. I don't want to say we've seen the last of Dame. I hope we haven't. But it is odd the way it's kind of ending if this is towards the back end here, at least on the back nine of his NBA career.
Yeah, I was driving home from the gym, listening to Stormy and JVT yesterday, and you're right, they sound great. Off to a fabulous start after day one. Excited to catch up with him in the final hour of our show. But he alluded to it's not just the injury that impacts this series, and I think we knew that Milwaukee was in an uphill battle anyway when they had both Dame and Giannis playing it the way that he did. It's now this offseason. And we're going to assume that Dame is lost for the entirety of the upcoming season. Mm-hmm. So now what do you do to help surround Giannis with a group that can compete with what we anticipate is still going to be a vaunted Cleveland Cavalier team, a Boston Celtic team? The Knicks, I would anticipate, go out and get a little bit more from a depth perspective. The Pistons have taken a massive step forward. So not just the loss for this postseason, and we would anticipate the Pacers now smelling blood in the water can just go ahead and impose their will and kind of lean on the rest of that supporting cast because Giannis has gotten his. Right. It feels like I don't know who's been more impressive to you, Dave. Has it been Steph Curry, without Jimmy Butler, at the end of that previous game, 1-on-5, or Giannis basically the whole series 1-on-5 against the Pacers?
Yeah, he's doing what he can, but it is definitely not going to end well there in Milwaukee. And of course, those tentacles about Giannis and his future there, what he asked and demanded to be traded. Remember, you still owe $113 million now over the next 2 years for Dame. Looks like it's going to be a lost season next year at worst, certainly, and then you would still be on the hook for one more year with Damian Lillard. So I know it's a lot of funny money in the NBA. That's still big money, though, when you get down there for salary cap purposes there. A big day in D.C. for the Fish, finding Nemo, Brandon Nimmo. Huge day when you tie a Mets franchise record with 9 RBI, and Jensen, the guy he tied it with, Carlos Delgado. As boy, those are fun Met days back in the day with the Jose Reyes of the world and the Delgados of the world and, Pedro Martinez. But this version of the Metropolitan's off to a great start. 19-5 the win here. You were on the over yesterday, never had to sweat it. I was on the Mets, never had to sweat it. That was a really nice rocking chair there. What do you make of Brandon? Because he really struggled at the beginning of this year, and all of a sudden 2 bombs yesterday, 9 ribs. Sometimes a day like that can propel you for a while.
Yeah, it will. And, again, shout out to all the VSiN Pro subscribers and everyone listening yesterday that jumped in with us when it did. Rocking chair came a little bit later. Like we kind of had to set the table a little bit. It was 3-0 after 5 innings. And then all of a sudden, as we said yesterday, those bullpens, especially for Washington, have not been good whatsoever. So the Mets capitalize on that. Just overall, first of all, the Metropolitans' first team in Major League Baseball to 20 wins. More importantly, it's that rotation ERA. Griffin Canning, a couple of blow-up spots yesterday. He could have given up a couple of different big innings, but he did not. He escaped. Big reason why the Mets are 20-9 at this point. More importantly here, Dave, as we look at some of the markets, and for people that have tickets in pocket here, myself being one of them, the Dodgers winning last night and getting up to a 3-game win streak, now just a game back of the Mets. Giants also 19-10. If you have that most wins by the end of April ticket, we're obviously hot and heavy here now into the final 2 days of April, today and tomorrow.
Very quickly, you see that Dodgers win 7-6. They led 5-0, blew that lead, went to extras, fell down 6-5. And then they did something in the bottom half, Jensen. I want to get your quick thoughts on it. Really a little bit inside baseball here. So you got first and second, and they sacrificed. Get over to second and third to set up the Tommy Edman game-winning base hit. I thought you can't down 1 at home. You give up an out. I thought that was a no-no in Major League Baseball.
Again, for the analytics people out there, there's multiple situations where it ends up forcing the opposition into making a decision whether to intentionally walk that next hitter or be able to pitch to him with a base open. So in that spot, Tommy Tanks has been unbelievable for them, and still amazing to see that. When you have a bottom feeder team in Miami and one of the best in the Dodgers, this is why you play the games, right? And this is why, from a betting perspective, the live betting aspect of that game ends up being profitable if you're a Marlins backer, taking them live on a run line, on a team total over. The full game over ends up hitting as well. So this is one of those instances in which it's never over till it's over from a betting perspective.
Okay, it was over early in Miami yesterday. 70-25 at one point. What was that? So the final score there, for people that don't know what I'm talking about, Cavaliers just absolute whoosh. The Heat, 138-83 is the final. I believe it's the first time in NBA history, playoff games, you lose by 40 back-to-back. I mean, like plus 40 plus. It's absolutely amazing what they did yesterday, and I know you like the Cavs to get this done, but what did you make of that? Like, there's one thing to run a team out in the second half. They ran them out. This thing was done after the first quarter. And then you had to get through 3 more quarters, and there was no let-up in the Cavs. And by the way, the over hits as well. And there were 3 quarters for the Heat, where I believe they scored 20 in the last quarter, garbage time late, 18 and 17 points, and yet never in doubt to get over that 211.5.
Yeah, and to think about where this spread was, what was it, 8.5 at the beginning before that game tipped off. The most egregious stat for me is Jared Allen had 6 steals.
Wow.
Let me repeat that. Jared Allen had 6 steals. The big man in the middle, his usual 14 points and 12 rebounds, a rocking chair double-double, 6 steals. Oh my God. You talk about giving up. There's no way a big man should have 6 steals like that, especially where Jared Allen plays. But by and large, what we expected, right, yep. Dave? Cavaliers forced to be reckoned with. They do what they need to do. Now a nice little break here. They'll await the winner of that Pacers and Bucks game.
I think it's just because it's in my DNA. I did kind of watch the end of the Warriors and Rockets game because I always have that FOMO. I don't want to miss it. And it was a great ending, and the Warriors get it done 109-106 here. Rockets had their chances late. That is for sure. But it was a bizarre game. Draymond, we're getting in scuffles, and is he going to get ejected? And this weird back and forth. The over does hit as well, 109-106. They're getting to 215. The total was 203.5. But they don't cover. If you had the 3 and a hook with the Rockets, you get home with the money there. What'd you make of this one? And it's 3-1. Rockets are competitive, but it does feel like maybe they're just not ready to get over that hump.
Yeah, cliff notes here. Battle-tested Warrior team up 3-1. You got a chance now. The T-Wolves take care of business against the Lake Show. You got a 6-7 matchup with a guarantee of a 6 or 7 headed to the conference finals in the Western Conference.
We had maybe a big surprise of what happened in Dallas yesterday. Went to the night on ice last night. Look ahead to tonight. That is all next when you come back with us. Just getting it started. It's VSiN By The Books.
You work hard. Now play harder with the all-new Nissan Armada. It's big, spacious, and powerful. It features a twin-turbo V6 engine that delivers serious strength. Inside, there's room for up to 8 passengers. Perfect for bringing the whole family along. With an impressive new engine, incredible towing capacity, and adventure-ready technology, this is the first Armada to earn the Pro 4X badge. Whether you're tackling tough roads or exploring new horizons, the all-new Nissan Armada is built to keep up with your adventures.
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Tuned in to VSiN By The Books, right here on VSiN.
We are back, VSiN By The Books. Dave Ross, Jensen Lewis, going to have Matt Youmans join us in the next segment, get his thoughts on how he did on the NFL draft. Quite well, actually, because Matt had the first 7 picks, right? Then we documented that here in the network.
Nailed it.
Pretty darn good when you can go 7 for 7. I'm sure Mel Kiper is just apoplectic that Matt Youmans went 7 for 7. Into the NBA postseason as well, and get some Derby thoughts before we get to Saturday. Yeah, we've got the Kentucky Derby coming up this weekend. We'll get to Torpedo Bat Tuesday, and of course, we will have the Daily Diamond as well. We talk plenty of Major League Baseball throughout the show today. But NHL playoffs, and it is, if you're watching this Colorado and Dallas series, and last night Dallas just hopped all over them, 3-0 early. Avs got a couple back, and all of a sudden at 3-2, as I'm flipping around last night, I'm like, oh boy, here they come, and McKinnon does what he does, and you're going, this is going to be a shootout. And then, bam, Dallas got 2 more. That was in the second period to close out that period 5-2 and then coast to a 6-2 win. Over gets home there. You had plus money on the home dog here. And I get it, Jensen, that they've been undermanned in this series, but now Colorado is pushed to the brink. Remember, they were one of those small favorites here to come out of the West. If you still believe in what what maybe the Avs can do here, is there an opportunity now to hop back in on Colorado, or do we actually have some trepidation that they might not be able to, one, get out of Colorado and force a Game 7 back in Dallas?
Yeah, first of all, I thought the Avs, I said yesterday, I thought the Avs would impose their will and get out quickly to try and force Dallas and take the wind out of their sails. That was not anywhere near what I thought that game would. Wyatt Johnson was unbelievable too, by the way, 2 goals, including that power play one to put him up 4-2 into the second period. So I guess kind of overall look here, and if you're a futures ticket holder on anyone outside of that top part of the bracket, so Jets, Blues, Stars, Avs, if you're a future ticket holder like I am on VGK or the LA Kings, I think you hold off here and wait until that next series. Wait and see, kind of as Rachel Dory told us yesterday, she felt the Blues were going to win that series against the Jets in 7 anyway. So I would kind of hold, and then if you kind of like Dallas moving forward, then I'd roll them over. But man, I'm kind of out on Colorado at this point. If they get through, fine, because I have a future ticket on them too. But I just can't. What I looked at yesterday going into that game, thought they would be way better than what they were. So they're kind of in that I can't diagnose them territory right now, just the way they played yesterday.
Well, and it's the same in the marketplace here, Jensen, because you and I having this conversation a day ago when the series is not up at 2, and now Dallas is vaulted to the faves. How about that? To win the West.
Crazy.
At plus 370. And now Colorado has slipped all the way to plus 750 to win the West. They're plus 180 to win the series, down 3-2. Minnesota's still the longer shots here to win the conferences at 13, and the Blues at 15-1, which is very interesting because, again, talking to Rachel Dory yesterday, she kind of likes St. Louis to win that series. That number will get shorted dramatically. So not saying it's done here for Dallas, but that 6-2 loss last night for Colorado has got to be a little bit disheartening now. Know that their backs are officially up against the wall there. Also, with last night, we had the Panthers getting a 4-2 win against the Lightning to take a commanding series lead now 3-1 in the Battle of Florida. They were down 2-1 going to the third and then flip that script and get that 4-2 win there. And again, this is also kind of like the Dallas and Colorado series, where I think a lot of people think whoever were to be able to come out of this series could be on that short list to come out of the East altogether.
Yeah, I'm completely out on Tampa. I mean, Vasilevsky has been just an enigma, if you will. Like, it is so hard to kind of look at where Tampa Bay is at this point, and when you don't trust the netminder, I'm sure as Jonathan Davis would tell us, it's a tough way to do business, right? Florida's showing heart of a champion and really overcoming the injuries here and making it stand up. So, you kind of, again, 30,000 foot view here. My 35-1 future is on the Caps in the Eastern Conference. I didn't really buy in on anyone else. If I were to, though, Dave, I would look at Carolina. They've got to be that's the sleepiest series right now. Okay. The Hurricanes and the Devils. And Carolina up 3-1, chance to put that one away here in Game 5. That's where, if you want to jump in right now, because you and I both know we've seen this movie about the Maple Leafs, all the pressure in the world will be on them and even escalating the farther they go. So to me, if you were going to jump in on the East, I would jump in on Carolina or just kind of stand pat until we get into those second round matchups.
Again, we've talked about it a lot here in the first round of the postseason. If you had Tampa on the puck line yesterday, it is a bad beat because, again, the equalizer from Ekblad comes just inside of 4 minutes to go in regulation.
Yes.
So then you're like, well, that's okay. We're up 2-1 Tampa. We got 4 minutes to go. We can close this out, Vasilevsky. Then you can't. And then you're knotted up. And then you get Seth Jones gets the go-ahead goal 11 seconds later. So bang, bang, and then you know what's coming. Empty netter. So not only do you cover the puck line for the Panthers, but also the total goes over. It's 2-1 with 4 minutes to go in regulation. Yep. If you're an underbetter, you got to be like, man, what am I cashing that ticket 85% of the time? and then you don't cash that ticket. That's a tough way to go if you're backing that under and you took that puck line here on the Lightning last night.
All right, you didn't have to like grind me on the puck line there, but that's okay. I had to. So again, this is you giveth and taketh, right? There's no way in hell I should have won, that Caps puck line,
but
just
you
a
shouldn't
week
have
or
lost
so
this
ago.
one.
But this one, again, this is where beggars can't be choosers.
That's right.
All right, and I don't want to get greedy here, but again, just overall, this is that theme we talked about yesterday, right? Over 50% of these games have been won by 3 or more goals. I know yesterday in the Lightning and Panthers game was only 2, but again, then you go back to the Stars and the Avalanche, another 4-goal differential here. It's been remarkable. And the third period yesterday, remember, for Dallas and Colorado, was only 1 goal. Right. So, kind of that handicap of if you feel the empty netters here are going to be, plentiful, then that's another angle to look at when you're getting into the handicap of these games.
And again, we have a closeout scenario tonight in the East with the Devils and the Hurricanes. So it's 3-1 Carolina here. They can close out the Devils at home tonight, and they're big favorites to do just that. Minus 260 is what I'm seeing here on the money line. If you want to come back on Jersey to keep this thing alive, plus 215. But they did get one win. And in said win, Andrei Shevchnikov did have a hat trick, but it was on the road when he got that done for the Devils. And then being the way that Carolina to take that 3-1 lead against the Devils. So it happened in Jersey. So then when you get back home, all of a sudden, Andre wakes up Monday morning and he looks outside because he gets the hat trick on the road. Look what they did down there in Carolina. They put the hats out on the lawn, Jensen. They go to where you live and throw the hats out on the grass. I kind of like this from Carolina. It shows me that, hey, you got it done, but we want you to know when you come back home, we got you covered. There's all of our hats. What do you make of the Hurricane fans going the extra mile there?
Yeah, well, first of all, the Prudential Center could be hostile territory, so appreciate what they were trying to do and keep it civil. But that's neat, man. And again, we talk about postseasons and how fan bases really just round into form here. I think this is the beauty of the hockey part of it, where a tradition that usually happens in arena. They did not want their man to be forgotten here. So job well done, Hurricane fans, and they hope they can do it for someone here coming up the rest of these playoffs.
Andre just said, I have really good neighbors. That's what he said. Really good neighbors for everybody put the hats out there on the lawn. I would say, and if I'm not mistaken, if you throw your hat on the ice, now again, enemy ice, that'd be different, right? So that's why if you throw them on the home ice, I believe, and I couldn't be mistaken, you can actually go down after the game is over and get your hat back if you wanted it. Like, that would always be my thing, Jensen. If you've got a nice lid, do you want to salvage that to the hockey gods for your team and your player if they get a hattie? Like, because I guess you have to not expect to get it back if you throw that hat on the ice, right? Would you ever just say, yeah, it's a good hat, but it's also a good cause and it's good karma here in hockey?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's like in baseball where, do you throw the ball back if the opposition, hits a home run? You're going to be ejected from the game unless you're in Wrigley where it's sort of an accepted practice there. So, yeah, man, I don't know. I probably wouldn't do that. But again, you're in the moment. You had a couple adult beverages. Maybe it'll happen.
It's going to be $20. $25 hat. Who knows how much?
Those are expensive. Hats are expensive now, man.
Especially, and then if you get a good one that fits your head, do you really?
Yeah.
Those are the decisions you have to make, but good on the Hurricanes fans there. NBA and NHL playoffs obviously in full swing here, as is Major League Baseball. The Derby is coming up this weekend, so you can bet much smarter when you become a VSiN Pro subscriber. It's our summer special. It's going on right now all the way through August 1st, so just $59 is going to have you covered. And again, that's going to save you over 33% off the monthly price there when you do so now. So again, it's going to cover you all the way through the summer with our summer special here. So you're going to get a daily recap, best bets from all of our hosts and our guests, exclusive betting splits from DraftKings and Circa 24/7 live video and full show replays in the VSiN Watch app. Plus, that Derby betting guide, it's coming out April 30th. So this week it's going to be out here in a matter of, just hours really at this point here. Previews, best bets on the Derby and the Kentucky Oats. So every sport, every single edge you can have out there, go to VSiN.com/subscribe. That's VSIN.com/subscribe. Matt Youmans is up next.
tuned in to VSiN By The Books, right here on VSiN.
We continue VSiN By The Books on this Tuesday edition. Always love catching up with Matt Youmans here on a Tuesday morning. Kind enough to join us here early for us, Jensen, on a Tuesday. You can follow him on X as we do at Matt Youmans 247. Of course, does a great job here as the host of VSiN PrimeTime. You can check that out weekdays 7 to 11 here on the East Coast time zone. Matt, great to have you on again this morning, my friend. I was going to start with the NFL draft, but you want to start with a little Major League Baseball. And because we have Jensen Lewis, of course, esteemed closer here, what'd you want to pick his brain about with the Dodgers? They got the win last night, but maybe you're questioning some of the methods of one Dave Roberts?
No, I don't want to spend much time on this. I was just saying Dave Roberts, you know, he's a bumbling fool with his pitching staff sometimes. Last night he left Dustin May in too long. And I kept saying, to get May out of the game. I know sometimes you got to let young pitchers work through it, but it was obvious he lost it. And you got to get him out. He left him in too long. Then he brings a lefty out of the bullpen. Next two hitters up for the Marlins, right-handed. First one walks, second one hits a grand slam, and it's 5-5. You know, I was just managing from my couch, and that's all.
Well, Matt, speaking of managing from the couch, that's what a lot of people here in Northeast Ohio will be doing. Is we get underway for OTAs and then training camp with all these quarterbacks into Browns territory here. Just your overall assessment. By the way, shout out to you again. 7 for 7 to start the draft there and your predictions and your mock draft. But you're just kind of general assessment of what you saw and now what you anticipate maybe the effects afterwards will be for the NFL.
You know, it's interesting. I wrote a column about it up at VSiN.com, just kind of brief column, actually highlighting some of the teams I thought did really well in the draft, the New York Giants being one of them. Giants are going to have one of the better defensive lines in the league. And I think when you look at the best Giants teams of the past, they've all been dominant on the defensive line. And the first two picks for the Giants on that side of the ball, two of the first three, I like Jackson Dart a lot too, rookie quarterback from Ole Miss. But I thought, so what's interesting, I'll just make this rather brief. The Browns were kind of what we expect from the Browns. I thought they made some good moves at the start, and then they really screwed things up. But maybe Jimmy Haslam, the owner, stepped in, and maybe that's a big reason the Browns kind of fumbled the ball at some point in the draft there. There's been so much talk on ESPN and Fox and all these airhead talk shows the last couple of days about Shedeur Sanders and why he fell in the draft. And the obvious reason Shedeur fell in the draft, and we talked about this on your show either a week ago or 2 weeks ago, when we were talking about he was slipping. And I said, I think that information's solid. You guys know, if you show up for a job interview unprepared and unprofessional and you act like a clown, you're probably not going to get the job, right? And Shedeur Sanders, when all this information came out from all the teams, most of the teams that he met with, that he was acting like a clown and he was unprofessional, and a lot of these teams took him off the board. If you're Patrick Mahomes and you got the talent, you take any NFL team to the next level, you're going to get drafted in the first round or second round, even if you have baggage, even if you're a clown, if you're unprofessional. But he doesn't have that transcendent talent, so he slipped because of the interview process and how bad he was, and it wasn't anything else. So, you know, the Browns, I think they felt like, well, there's value. Jimmy Haslam probably stepped in and said, hey, we got to take this guy now in the fifth round. There's value. He was considered to be a first-round pick. I don't hate what the Browns did. I don't love what they did. The Dylan Gabriel pick in the third round was head-scratching. So the Browns kind of an incomplete when you're trying to figure out draft grades. I don't really give grades. I'm just looking at teams that did the best. Browns had an intriguing draft, did a lot right, did a few things wrong. I like the Steelers, Ravens, Eagles, Seahawks, Titans. Some of those teams I thought did really well. I'll tell you just one thing I'm looking at in terms of futures, win totals, things like that. The Giants, New York Giants win totals 5.5. Now, it's going to be hard to climb the ladder in the NFC East with the Eagles, the Commanders, and Dave Ross's Cowboys.
Let's go.
But the win total for the Giants at DraftKings right now is 5.5 over plus 115. And I think the Giants are going to get over that number this year. So that's one thing I'm looking at. I thought they had a smart plan in the draft, executed it well. Dave, I kind of like what the Cowboys did in the draft. I don't love it. I kind of like it, but I spent a lot of time analyzing the draft, watching the whole thing. And, I think it's kind of a fool's errand just to sit there and hand out grades.
Yeah.
I think people do that for clicks. I'm always looking for the teams I think improved the most and showed a smart plan of attack and who showed they have a lot of scouting intelligence and are going about building a roster and a team the right way.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I did like, maybe it wasn't the sexiest draft there for Dallas, but I did like the Giants draft a lot. And again, we'll find out what Jackson Dart is, whether or not he's going to be playing sooner than later. Doesn't seem like it with Jameis and Russell Wilson intel, but 5.5 at plus money. I'm picking up what you're putting down there. I think that would make a lot of sense. Let's talk a little bit about the NBA postseason here, what you've seen so far. Cleveland, of course, has moved on already in the East. OKC is moving on in the West. What do we make of that? We expect maybe that the Celtics will put this away here tonight against Orlando. Has your opinion changed on any of the bigger boys here after what you've seen, or is it, again, kind of to be expected so far, at least with some of those bigger boys?
I think it's been about what we expected. I've been a little bit disappointed in the Lakers, right? I think a lot of people expected after the Luka Doncic deal that the Lakers were going to be a little bit more of a force to deal with in the playoffs, and they found ways to lose a couple of these games they could have won in this Minnesota series. So it's interesting. If you're looking for, home favorites, this kind of goes back to March Madness when you could parlay a bunch of favorites, money line parlay a bunch of favorites and just walk to the window and cash tickets. You would money line parlay Boston with Indiana tonight and maybe hook up the Lakers on it tomorrow because the Lakers down 3-1 going home. You think they got to win that game on Wednesday night, right? Yeah. Celtics not going to lose at home to the Magic. Looks like Milwaukee has mailed it in. Damian Lillard's done. Bucks are going to lose that game in Indiana tonight, and then the Lakers have to win tomorrow night. I think the best series by far, it's not even close, is the Clippers-Nuggets series. How great was that game on Saturday with the Joker putting up the numbers he did and then throwing up the alley-oop, we'll call it, to Aaron Gordon, and how razor-thin that was. I think the ball was just barely off his fingertips when the red light came on, and Clippers win that game, or Nuggets win that game 101-99. In L.A. Off that win, these teams have alternated wins and losses in this series. I did bet the Nuggets in 7 at plus 390. A bit of a hedge, but I just think tonight's going to be a good spot for the Clippers. 2-point favorites. I'll probably lay the cheap money line price. I'd probably play the Clippers to win Game 5 tonight.
Yeah, Matty, it's the Thunder would love nothing more than that series to go 7 as they rest up here after sweeping the Grizzlies. It is Derby week. Excited to get into it with our great crew here at VSiN. Initial thoughts of what you've seen thus far and maybe some angles for us to attack.
Jensen, do you bet the horses much?
Sure do, man. Absolutely. I like to have a little flutter here and there. Absolutely.
I should have known that the machine gun fires on everything. I should have known you bet the horses. All right, so I've got one of the best horse handicappers around, Bob Ike. He's going to be on the show, VSiN PrimeTime tonight. He's from Southern California, hangs out at Santa Anita, Del Mar. He's really good all around with horses, and he's going to be giving a Derby seminar in Vegas this weekend, but he's going to be on the show. So after I listen to him tonight, I might change my opinion a little bit, but I'm looking at these 5 horses right now, 8, 3, 9, 18, and 17. 8's Journalism, the favorite. It's got the running style, the post position, overall numbers. The breeding, sired by Curlin, which was third in the Derby, won the Preakness in 2007, I think was a horse of the year. Journalism won the Santa Anita Derby, but it's 3-1. It's the favorite, morning line. This is a 20-horse race. It can be unpredictable, so I hate to tout the favorite. But you're going to have to put the favorite in your box. I'm going to go number 3, Final Gambit. 30-1. Keep an eye on this horse. A deep closer. There's going to be a hot pace set here. So you want a deep closer. He's going to save ground on the rail, and this horse has got some numbers to indicate it could be in the mix at 30-1. Worth a look to 3. Number 9, Burnham Square. It's got a good post next to Journalism. Can stay with him. Maybe steal the race down the stretch. 12-1 odds, morning line right now on the 9. Look at the 18. There's a lot to like there. But far outside, it's going to have to navigate a lot of traffic. to get through it. I don't like these 17-18 posts, but these are good horses. Sovereignty, the 18 is at 5-1, and then Sandman, the 17. Deep Closer, again, a bad post, but his best race was his last race, and he's at 6-1. So take a look at the 8, 3, 9, 18, and 17, and then watch VSiN PrimeTime tonight when Bob Ike's on. He'll have some good advice on the race.
I was going to say that's one heck of a tease to make sure you listen tonight to VSiN PrimeTime. Matt, appreciate you as always, my friend. Try to get some sleep, and can't wait to hear the show tonight because that sounds like some actionable spots will be coming with your conversation with you and Bob. And again, if you're looking for a new way to feel the rush for the Derby, check out First Bet. It's your first and front row seat to the fastest 2 minutes in sports and so much more. Bet on the Derby, hundreds of horse races every day. FirstBet.com. That's the number one, SDBet.com. Use a promo code VSiN200. Grab $200 signing bonus. Get ready. The Derby starts at FirstBet.com.
You work hard. Now play harder with the all-new Nissan Armada. It's big, spacious, and powerful. It features a twin-turbo V6 engine that delivers serious strength. Inside, there's room for up to 8 passengers. Perfect for bringing the whole family along. With an impressive new engine, incredible towing capacity, and adventure-ready technology, this is the first Armada to earn the Pro 4X badge. Whether you're tackling tough roads or exploring new horizons, the all-new Nissan Armada is built to keep up with your adventures.
Tuned in to VSiN By The Books, right here on VSiN.
Fun conversation. Matt Youmans in the last segment here on VSiN By The Books. Dave Ross, Jensen Lewis. Going to have Billy Body join us here at the top. We're going to go overseas, back over to England. It's great having Billy in studio here a couple weeks ago when he was in town for WrestleMania, and then he gets all the way back over to England. I have no idea what time it is over there, Jensen. Like, you could tell me right now, are they having dinner? I would have no idea.
He's not in London. Is he in Dubai, UAE, London? Can't remember where he is. But anyway, you're at least 5 to 6 hours ahead over there. So absolutely, Dave. It was so wonderful hearing Billy Barty in studio yesterday. Can't wait to talk to him again top of the hour. It's going to be wonderful.
That is a top-notch impression. Let's get to it. It is time for Torpedo Bat Tuesday. And Jensen, very quickly, you and I talked about this right off the top of the baseball season, and I did a little You Can't Handle the Truth on it, how this was not this is not a big deal, the Torpedo Bats, and that it's not a controversy. It's all kind of gone away, hasn't it?
Yeah, and again, this is why I had told you then I will not make a judgment one way or the other until we get right around this time. Give me a month, maybe 5-6 weeks of sample to really dive into. And yeah, there have been guys that have benefited from it, but it's not sweeping the league where all of a sudden there were conversations a week into the season by some pundits like, oh, we got to ban this.
Yes. Remember, we're like, what do we do? Let's everybody just calm down. And again, I think that this is fine that they have them. I don't know why this was ever an issue to begin with, but do you have enough of a sample size now to say, no, you still got to put batted ball to you still got to make the contact. It's not the bats. It's still the player.
Yeah, you nailed it, right? And it's nowhere near sign stealing, the sign stealing scandal that we had with the Astros. And I told you that's the one thing that makes the competitive advantage so egregiously favored to the offense. You still don't know. You still got to have pitch recognition. You still have to put bat to ball, and you still have to square it up. Now, does the torpedo bat model give you a little bit better chance that when you do square it up, it's going to go farther, or you're going to have a better exit velo? Sure. But it gets back to macro. You still got to recognize the pitch. You still got to be able to hit it.
Yep, I think we're all over that on day one when that controversy started. Like, people, this is not a controversy. What do we have though for Torpedo Bat Tuesday today? And maybe Tatis might be doing more of what he normally does.
Yeah, torched is our headline for the first one. And it's the Padres going back home, right? Remember, you talk about one of the forces to be reckoned with as far as a home team. That's where the Padres are, and Fernando Tatis Jr. has been phenomenal there at Petco Park. They go up against the Giants, so a really, really nice showdown series getting underway there on the West Coast. 387, Dave, 8 extra base hits, 13 RBI, and 16 home games for Fernando Tatis Jr. He has struggled, though, against tonight's starting pitcher, Logan Webb, a 217 career average and 23 ABs. So instead of the total bases, I went more with the 2 or more hits, runs, RBI lean.
Okay.
That to me feels a little bit more, you get to cover a little more ground there. Hey, if he hits a double out of the box and someone drives him in, that you're already home there in the first inning. So a little bit more room for error with the career average being a bit more of a struggle against Logan Webb, who's off to a great start.
You mentioned it here. Giants are 19-10. Share the first place right now with the Dodgers with that late night win last night against the Marlins. We talked about briefly there with Matt Youmans. And the Padres nipping at the heels, a game and a half back at 17-11. Again, I think we all think that the Padres certainly have staying power. Is this a series more for the Giants to you to see if they're going to be one of these teams that we do take seriously, or do we already take the Giants seriously?
I think that for the overall landscape, perhaps it means more for the Giants. This is twofold. Number one, the Padres have been so good at home. But secondly, just to kind of reaffirm that, all right, the series count the same in April that they do in September. So, do what you have to do. Because if it comes down to tiebreakers, Dave, you want to look back at April and say, we absolutely took this seriously and we did what we had to do on the road.
Let's keep it going on Torpedo Bat Tuesday. And I like to say that the Cincinnati Reds are the hottest team in baseball, but the Tampa Bay Rays as well with the 5-game winning streak here. What do you have for the Rays on Torpedo Bat Tuesday?
Love the spot here. We're getting to George Steinbrenner Field again. So we got Junior getting the joint jumping. Say that 5 times fast. We referred to Junior Caminero against the Royals today. And again, for where the matchup is, it'll be against Michael Lorenzen. Why do we circle this one? Well, all 5 of Junior Caminero's home runs have come at home, and 4 of the 5 have come against right-handed pitching. So he'll face the righty Lorenzen. He's never faced the Royals, in his career. Not that, that is a differential for me, but just kind of an interesting note there. So the lean for me, 2 or more total bases for Junior Caminero. Also an official play for me in pocket for VSiN Pro subscribers who have added this to my play sheet for the day. The Rays run line, minus 1.5 at plus $1.30 against Michael Lorenzen. Do feel as though Tampa can put it together here. The left-handed bats, just to reiterate for people just getting their feet wet here into the MLB season, left-handed bats at George Steinbrenner Field, same dimensions as Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. So if you're targeting bases, RBIs, homers, left-handed bats, the way to go there when the Rays are playing at home.
That 5-game winning streak has them back to even at 14-14. Kansas City right now 14-15, but the run differential very different. Tampa Bay in the green at plus 14, and how about the Royals right now minus 16? So even though they're a half game apart, certainly the Rays look like the better of the two so far. What do you got for Jazz here for the Yanks and the boys in Charm City?
Dave, if I had the deeper voice, you like Jazz? How about Jazz Chisholm against the Orioles? Now, here's a caveat. He has been brutal so far away from Yankee Stadium. And even overall, the numbers are not going to jump out at you. But sometimes you look for situational spots, and that's where we're at here. A 357 average, 2 doubles and 3 homers against tonight's starting pitcher, Charlie Morton. 6 of his 7 homers also, Dave, have come against right-handed pitching. Now, because the average is where it is, the total bases market was something I didn't want to tackle. So I'll go for the 2 or more hits, runs, RBI again here, just like we did for Fernando Tatis Jr. Been a bit of a struggle for them. Orioles took it to the Yankees yesterday, so looking for a bounce back spot, not only for New York, but Jazz Chisholm as well.
There's a great song by Stetsasonic talking all that jazz. That's what I think of whenever I think of jazz. Let's get to the Dodgers. We talked about that good win last night in extras against the Marlins after blowing a 5-0 lead. The lineup feels like, it's just tough to get through it if you're going up against Dodger Blue. What do you have for Mookie tonight?
Dave, have you ever had bets on Mookie?
Oh, yes.
I know, I'm sorry. I'll see myself out. All right, so we are betting on Mookie. Mookie bets against the Marlins tonight after they held on yesterday. But it's the numbers against their ace, Sandy Alcantara. I had a double take when I looked at this one. 462 career average against the big power throwing right-hander. All 4 of Mookie's homers have come at Dodger Stadium this season. So we'll go back to the well here. 2 or more hits, runs, RBI. You feel that the Dodgers have been able to put it up pretty well offensively against anyone that the Marlins throw out there, but particularly this matchup stood out for me. So I like Mookie in that category tonight.
All right, that's fascinating to me. If you see a guy that's almost hitting 500 against one of the elite starters in Major League Baseball, what are you doing? If you're Sandy, like Jensen, was there ever a guy that you knew this guy's got the better of me? Like he, for whatever reason, what is it? Like what would Sandy have to do to flip this script tonight?
Well, okay, so just the numbers for people that want to know. Mookie 6 for 13. Okay, three singles, a double, and 2 homers there against Sandy Alcantara. So he's seen him well. The guy that absolutely owned me is Kevin Youkilis. I think he hit 714 against me. I mean, I could have thrown an underhand, overhand, sidearm. It didn't matter. But there's just some guys where you see him well, and for hitters, there's guys that are like, I want nothing to do with him. And it could be maybe not even your typical nasty pitcher. It could be a guy that's just so, susceptible. Like Kyle Hendricks is a guy that comes right to mind about, there's some hitters like, I want nothing to do with it. It's so slow. Hendricks. Yeah. Yeah. So slow. It's so far under the hitting speed that guys are used to that it just throws them out of whack. So some guys, Jose Ramirez loves guys that throw triple digit. The harder you throw, the more he loves to face you, because for whatever reason, it's like the Matrix. He's Neo. It slows way down for him, and he really sees it well.
Fascinating. So really good lean there on Mookie Betts here in Torpedo Bat Tuesday here with those great numbers against Sandy. If you're coming out to Vegas, and you really should, and it's going to get hotter out here, but they got you covered here at Circa, because listen to this deal. It's a pretty darn good 2-night stay. If you're coming out for just $400, you're going to get those 2-night stay, and it's going to include your resort fees and taxes. People in Vegas know how much that is worth in and of itself. $100 dining credit that you're going to get right off the top 2. And how about a $100 beverage credit? And we know it's going to be hot, so guess what? You got a day bed at Stadium Swim that you can hang out in here while you're here for those 2 days. $400, that's an all-in price. For everything I just mentioned, it goes all the way through September 4th. So all you have to do is go to circlelasvegas.com and use that package code right now. That is as good as it gets right there for just $400 when you go to circlelasvegas.com. All right, we are going to attempt to go across the seas next. We'll figure out, where is he? Is he in Dubai? Is he in England? Billy Body's all over. He's a well-traveled man. We'll catch up with Billy and talk some soccer. That is next here when we begin hour number 2 on VSiN By The Books.
You work hard. Now play harder with the all-new Nissan Armada. It's big, spacious, and powerful. It features a twin-turbo V6 engine that delivers serious strength. Inside, there's room for up to 8 passengers. Perfect for bringing the whole family along. With an impressive new engine, incredible towing capacity, and adventure-ready technology, this is the first Armada to earn the Pro 4X badge. Whether you're tackling tough roads or exploring new horizons, the all-new Nissan Armada is built to keep up with your adventures.